The ancient land of Thrace was a region of remarkable geographic diversity, encompassing rugged mountains, expansive plains, and fertile river valleys. Bordered by the Balkan Mountains to the north and the Aegean Sea to the south, Thrace spanned parts of modern-day Bulgaria, northern Greece, and European Turkey. This varied terrain provided the Thracians with abundant natural resources, including mineral deposits, timber, and fertile land for agriculture, enabling the growth of their civilization. The Rhodope Mountains, often considered the heart of Thrace, were not only a geographic feature but also a cultural and spiritual hub. These mountains were home to sacred sites and caves where Thracians conducted religious rituals and worshiped their gods. The proximity of the mountains to the Aegean coastline also facilitated trade and cultural exchange with Greek city-states, allowing the Thracians to acquire foreign goods and ideas that influenced their society. Thrace's rivers, including the Meretsa, Mesta, and Iskar, played a crucial role in sustaining the region's economy and connectivity. These waterways provided fertile soil for farming and served as natural highways for trade and communication. The Thracians established settlements along these rivers, where they cultivated crops like wheat, barley, and grapes, and raised livestock. The rivers also connected Thrace to neighboring regions, making it a vital crossroads in the ancient Balkans. Strategically positioned at the intersection of Europe and Asia, Thrace was a melting pot of cultures and influences. Its location made it a coveted land for empires such as the Persians, Greeks, and Romans, who sought to control its wealth and strategic access. Despite frequent invasions, the Thracians maintained a distinct identity, adapting to external influences while preserving their traditions. This blend of isolation and interaction shaped the unique character of Thracian civilization. Thrace was not a unified state, but a patchwork of independent tribes, each with its own leaders, customs, and territories. The Odrysians were among the most powerful tribes, establishing a kingdom that united several Thracian groups under their rule. Their dominance peaked during the 5th century BCE under rulers like Sethoses and Sooths III, who expanded their influence through warfare and diplomacy. The Odrysian kingdom became a beacon of Thracian power and culture, albeit short-lived. Other notable tribes included the Bessi, a fiercely independent group known for their priestly class and guardianship of sacred oracles. The Bessi lived in the rugged Rhodope Mountains, where they conducted rituals and maintained religious sites. Their resistance to foreign domination and their spiritual significance made them a symbol of Thracian resilience and devotion. The Tribali, another prominent tribe, inhabited the western regions of Thrace near the Danube River. Renowned for their warrior culture, the Tribali frequently clashed with neighboring tribes and empires, including Macedon under Philip II and Alexander the Great. Their strategic location near the Danube made them both a threat and an opportunity for those seeking to control the northern Balkans. Other tribes, such as the Getae, Madi, and Dacians, shared cultural and linguistic ties with the Thracians. These groups often interacted through alliances, trade, and warfare, contributing to the complex web of relationships that defined ancient Thrace. While their differences sometimes led to conflict, their shared heritage and beliefs created a broader Thracian identity that transcended tribal boundaries. While the Thracians were predominantly a rural people, their settlements varied from small villages to fortified towns and even proto-urban centers. These settlements were strategically located near rivers, fertile lands, and trade routes, enabling them to sustain their populations and foster economic activities. The Thracians built their homes from wood, clay, and thatch, reflecting the natural resources of their environment. Archaeological evidence suggests that even their simplest villages were carefully organized, with distinct areas for living, farming, and communal gatherings. Fortified settlements, or polis as referred to by Greek writers, served as centers of power and defense for various tribes. These hilltop fortresses were strategically placed to oversee trade routes and protect against invaders. One such example is Southopolis, the capital of the Odrysian kingdom, which showcased advanced urban planning. Excavations of Southopolis revealed a central palace, religious sanctuaries, and a grid-like street system, highlighting the Thracians' ability to adapt to urbanization while retaining their cultural identity. In addition to permanent settlements, the Thracians maintained seasonal encampments for pastoral activities. These mobile communities followed herds of livestock across the region's vast plains, reflecting the semi-nomadic lifestyle of some tribes. This adaptability ensured the Thracians could exploit various ecological niches, from mountain pastures to river valleys, depending on the season and their needs. Their mobility also facilitated trade and communication among distant tribes. The interaction between Thracian settlements and neighboring civilizations played a significant role in shaping their development. Proximity to Greek colonies like Byzantium and Apollonia introduced new architectural and cultural elements to Thracian towns. Trade with these Greek city-states brought luxury goods such as pottery, jewelry, and olive oil, which were incorporated into Thracian life. Despite these influences, the Thracians retained their unique identity, blending foreign elements with their traditions to create distinct cultural expressions. Agriculture was the backbone of the Thracian economy, supported by the region's fertile soil and favorable climate. Thracians cultivated a variety of crops, including wheat, barley, millet, and legumes. They also excelled in viticulture, producing wine that was highly prized in the ancient world. Greek historians like Herodotus often praised Thracian wine, which was considered superior for its potency and flavor. This agricultural abundance ensured food security and enabled trade with neighboring regions. Animal husbandry was another pillar of the Thracian economy. Livestock, including cattle, sheep, goats, and horses, provided meat, milk, wool, and hides. Horses, in particular, held a special status in Thracian culture, symbolizing wealth and power. Thracian horsemen were renowned for their skill in battle, and horses played a significant role in their religious ceremonies as well. The trade of livestock and animal products contributed to their economic prosperity. Mining and metallurgy were equally important to the Thracians' economic strength. The region's rich deposits of gold, silver, and copper fueled a thriving metalworking industry. Thracian artisans created intricate jewelry, weapons, and ceremonial objects, which were both used locally and exported to other cultures. This expertise in metalwork not only enhanced their economy but also elevated their cultural prestige, as seen in the discovery of treasures like the Rogosan and Panegyrishti hoards. Trade was the lifeblood of Thracian interaction with the outside world. Thracians exported agricultural products, metals, and crafted goods to Greek colonies and beyond. In return, they imported luxury items like fine pottery, textiles, and olive oil. Thracian merchants often acted as intermediaries, connecting Northern Europe with the Mediterranean world. This extensive trade network not only enriched the Thracians economically, but also exposed them to diverse cultural influences. The Thracians had a deeply spiritual culture, rooted in nature worship and polytheism. Their pantheon included gods and goddesses associated with natural elements like the sun, moon, and earth. The Thracian horseman, a recurring figure in their art and religious iconography, symbolized power, protection, and the connection between the mortal and divine realms. This enigmatic deity was often depicted riding a horse, wielding weapons, or accompanied by animals, reflecting the Thracians' reverence for strength and nature. Sacred sites were integral to Thracian religious life, ranging from mountaintop sanctuaries to cave shrines. The Rhodope Mountains were particularly significant, hosting temples and altars dedicated to their deities. These locations served as venues for rituals, sacrifices, and festivals that reinforced communal bonds and tribal identity. Archaeological findings suggest that some of these rituals involved elaborate ceremonies, including offerings of food, wine, and precious objects to appease the gods. Orphism, a mystical religious movement believed to have Thracian origins, profoundly influenced both their culture and the wider ancient world. Centered around the figure of Orpheus, a legendary Thracian poet and musician, Orphism emphasized the soul's immortality and the quest for spiritual enlightenment. Orpheus's association with music, poetry, and the natural world made him a revered figure, and his mythology became deeply intertwined with Thracian identity. The Thracians' religious practices also included rites of passage and funerary customs that highlighted their belief in an afterlife. Elaborate burial mounds or tumuli were constructed for their elite, containing treasures, weapons, and offerings meant to accompany the deceased into the next world. These tombs, often adorned with frescoes and inscriptions, provide valuable insights into their spiritual worldview and the social structure of Thracian society. The Thracians were renowned for their warrior culture, characterized by a combination of fierce independence and exceptional combat skills. Thracian warriors were celebrated for their agility, ferocity, and innovative tactics on the battlefield. Their armies were typically composed of lightly armed infantry and cavalry, which gave them an edge in speed and maneuverability. Equipped with weapons such as spears, daggers, and the iconic rhomphaia, a curved sword with devastating cutting power, the Thracians were formidable adversaries in both defensive and offensive operations. Cavalry played a particularly significant role in Thracian warfare, reflecting the high status of horses in their culture. Thracian horsemen were known for their expertise in hit and run tactics, often outmaneuvering heavier and slower armies. Their mobility allowed them to raid enemy territories, disrupt supply lines, and execute swift retreats when faced with superior forces. This tactical versatility made them valuable allies to larger powers like the Persians and Macedonians, who often recruited Thracian cavalry as mercenaries. The Thracians' approach to warfare was deeply tied to their tribal structure. Each tribe operated as an independent military unit, led by chieftains who commanded the loyalty of their warriors. Alliances between tribes were often formed during times of external threat, allowing for the assembly of larger armies. However, intertribal rivalries and a lack of centralized leadership frequently hindered long-term unity, leaving the Thracians vulnerable to conquest by more organized empires. Despite their fragmented political landscape, the Thracians earned the respect of their adversaries, including the Greeks and Romans. Greek historians like Thucydides and Herodotus describe the Thracians as fierce and resourceful warriors. Their reputation was further solidified through their involvement in major conflicts, such as their service as mercenaries in the Persian Wars and later as auxiliaries in the Roman legions. Even after their subjugation, the Thracians continued to influence the military traditions of their conquerors. Thracian history is marked by the leadership of influential kings and chieftains who shaped their tribe's fortunes and interactions with other civilizations. One of the most prominent rulers was Sitalces, king of the Odrysian kingdom in the 5th century BCE. Under Sitalces, the Odrysian kingdom became the most powerful Thracian state, uniting numerous tribes and expanding its influence across the Balkans. Sitalces forged alliances with Athens during the Peloponnesian War, demonstrating his diplomatic acumen and strategic vision. Thucydides, another Odrysian king, is remembered for his efforts to consolidate and rebuild Thracian power after a period of decline. He founded the city of Southopolis, which served as a political and cultural hub for his kingdom. Thucydides' reign was marked by both military campaigns and infrastructural development, reflecting his ambition to create a lasting legacy. His tomb, discovered in the Kazanlak Valley, provides valuable insights into Thracian royal customs and their artistic achievements. While the Odrysians were the most centralized Thracian polity, other leaders left their mark on history. Odysseus, another Odrysian king, skillfully navigated the complex politics of the region, balancing relations with Athens, Macedon, and Persia. His reign highlighted the adaptability of Thracian leaders in dealing with more powerful neighbors while preserving their sovereignty and cultural identity. Beyond the kings, many Thracian chieftains distinguished themselves in battle and governance. These local leaders were pivotal in maintaining tribal cohesion and defending their territories against external threats. Although their names are often lost to history, their actions contributed to the resilience and survival of Thracian culture amid centuries of warfare and conquest. The Thracians' cultural and historical legacy endures, despite their eventual absorption into the Roman Empire. Their contributions to art, music, and warfare left an indelible mark on the ancient world. Thracian metalwork, characterized by intricate designs and exceptional craftsmanship, continues to be celebrated through archaeological discoveries such as the Panegyrishti treasure. These artifacts provide a glimpse into the sophistication and creativity of Thracian artisans. The Thracians also influenced their conquerors, particularly the Romans, who adopted aspects of Thracian military tactics and equipment. Thracian gladiators, such as the famous Spartacus, became legendary figures in Roman history. Spartacus's rebellion against Rome in 73 BCE exemplified the Thracian spirit of resistance and independence, inspiring generations to admire their courage and determination. In addition to their contributions to military and artistic traditions, the Thracians played a role in shaping the cultural landscape of the Balkans. Their mythology and religious practices influenced neighboring civilizations, leaving traces in Greek and Roman beliefs. The figure of Orpheus, rooted in Thracian tradition, became a symbol of artistic and spiritual pursuit across the ancient Mediterranean world. Today, the Thracians are remembered as one of the great ancient civilizations of the Balkans, whose influence extended far beyond their time. Modern nations in the region, including Bulgaria, Romania, and Greece, honor their Thracian heritage through museums, festivals, and historical research. As archaeologists continue to uncover the remnants of Thracian culture, the story of this remarkable people continues to captivate and inspire.